G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel Bonsai Works. It's good to be back doing some videos. I've been off the videos for a little bit at the moment, unfortunately, just busy with lots of other activities and doing a lot of private work. Now I'm come back to a black pine, Japanese black pine today. It's a gorgeous little tree. Size-wise, I mean, the trunk is a decent, nice, fat size. It's got crackling bark, beautiful crackling bark. You can see just flaking off, nice and old. This is all fissured up. There's a few little wounds here. It's got some interesting movement, and then it's got a bit of a messy kind of top up here. The needles are everywhere. Hasn't been needle plucked, and so on. This is probably where I like to see the front. I'll show you the other side, which is also quite good, but we'll see how it all turns out. I think the other side is my front. This side, probably the trunk looks kind of interesting too. But the apex of this tree is at the back, so real problematic to try and move it, and it's too thick to move. So we couldn't. Maybe we don't need to use it. Maybe we can eliminate it. But a lot of this height is at the back of the tree. So I'm going to try and style it from this front, and we'll see how we go about doing it and see how it cleans up. But there is an option, possibly to remove this. Which is currently the apex. But if I remove this, I won't have this side as a front at all anymore. So I would have to go then to look at doing something on this side. Now, ultimately, this is nice, but as I said, there's no apex, so we'll have to create a brand new one, which is possible. Just the tree might end up being more two-dimensional because I'll lose a whole heap of branching over here, and I've got to somehow move all this up and around, which is also doable. So lots of options in this tree. I'm going to try and style it with this. This is the front. I'm going to try and bring things around and move things around to try and create a better tree. A lot of this stuff is quite small and easy to move, so easy to manipulate, but the main trunk isn't. So let's see how we go. If this doesn't work as the front, I can always go to this side. So again, this side is quite nice, but again, as I mentioned, I would have to create a new apex, which is easily doable with this area here. So again, this is something you always see in bonsai. You always get different views and angles and trying different things and so on. So keep your mind open. keep it, like, I'm pretty sure I'm guaranteed I can get a tree out of here. Just the apex has to be built. Otherwise, I want to try and change it to this because it looks more interesting. This is a nice branch here already. There's some nice things going on in this area. So if it doesn't work out, I can go back to the other side. So keep yourself open to options before you actually make any decisions. So first things I'm going to do, I'm not going to show you this part because it's kind of boring, but I'm going to needle pluck the tree and cut back to 2 buds everywhere. So that's what you do in black pines in autumn. So it's autumn here currently in Melbourne. So I'm just going to needle pluck. So it's taking off the old needles. So just taking off the old needles, leaving the new candles, like this is a good example, and there's two little buds right there. That's perfect. That's just perfection, right? Because in summer that was cut off, and there's 2 buds there. Usually you get more than 2, and if you do that, and if you find more than 2, you got to cut back to just 2. Try and get the lateral buds, like the ones on that side. Don't get the ones going up or down. Try and get the ones on the sides. So I'm just going to go and needle pluck the whole tree and bud select, and then we'll come back and see how the tree opens up and looks, and see what options we've got. So I've thinned out the tree quite considerably, taking off the old needles. Now, a couple of things that quickly appeared was there is actually some bar branching happening, so I really need to deal with that. The other thing is this upper branch here, this branch is quite thick and it goes upwards. Even if I wire this down, I think I'm going to struggle with this side now. After looking at this, there's a bar branch I've got to eliminate. There's a few things that were incorrect on this side. I would have liked to use this side, but I think I'm just going to go back to this as the front and use this as the front. But I have to do a really decent wiring and really start to bring things around and compact it all. It's actually quite a bit too leggy, a bit too long. That needs to deal with. So probably a bit more difficulty in terms of wiring, but it's probably the better option. As I said, there's a couple of bar branches that I have to eliminate. And they don't look pretty when you look at them close, and if I eliminate them, there's not really too much risk in the look of the tree. So all in all, I think it's, yeah, unfortunately, well, at least I left it. This is a good lesson to actually don't cut anything off, have a look at the tree, study it, even though I wanted to do the other side, this side's still the better side. So now I'm going to go wire. I'll start to wire this tree. With this tree, I'm going to wire the lower branches first, put them in place, because once I wire them, then I can put the ones above down, further down. So just the same way you do most of your trees, you start from the bottom up. In this case, you know, because it's a cascade, the bottom's actually kind of the top in reverse, if you know what I mean, but it's still the bottom branch, if that makes sense. So, you know, usually that's the breadth. There is a branch here, and it was an upright tree. That would be the first branch to wire. But in this case, it's the actual apex. If this was a turned up tree, that you're going to wire. So, but the theory is the lowest branch. Start with the lowest branch. So I'm going to rewire the whole tree. It looks kind of nice already, but it really doesn't show off the big trunk, nice trunk. There needs a bit more definition in the pads, so get all that nice and wide, tighter, smaller, compact, and so on. So I'm just going to start wiring, and we'll see how it comes out. So the two lower branches have been wired, and you can see the pad development fanned out, creating another layer in there, the lower layer, and then this branch kind of to the back over here, also just slightly above this one. Can you see? So it's just slightly above, slightly below. So that's all I've really done. It's just wiring, making sure it's all fanned out and looking nice and presentable. And now I just keep working my way up the tree, and we'll get into the apex soon. There's a couple of main branches here, just need to be wired. Once this is really set in place, the tree really will take shape and will look quite good. And then you'll be able to see the apex being like a bit out of there, I mean a bit all up in the air. So let's hopefully we can deal with all that and get the tree looking good. Alright, so here's how the tree's looking. It's been wired to that point there. Now from front on, it might look like there is an apex, but I'll just turn it side on. And if you look at side on, you can see where the apex is. It's at the back. So this is at the back. So I need to bring it around more, fill in, get these branches down, filled in here, around, get this around to the top, create an apex. Now, the only interesting thing is this branch here at the back. It's quite heavy. It's quite a thick branch. You can just see it underneath there. It's quite a heavy branch. So I'm going to contemplate just using, maybe I'll use all of it. Maybe I'll just wire it all down and just fill that in. This is just going to be dropped, a few things like that. But it's quite a heavy branch, so I'm not 100% sure I really want to keep it in the future, actually. But let me assess, always assess. So I'm going to put the new apex in and just see how the tree looks, and it could come off or could be a gin in that area. So by dropping all these down around and creating an apex, I've got my depth, so maybe I don't actually need this branch. So that's how it all pans out. So the tree is actually completed wiring for now. All this area has been done, and I've created a new apex in here. And I've just blocked it with my hand so you can see. Now if I turn this side on, this is where, if I hide this branch, that is the tree. So you can see it's actually quite nice and symmetrical. If I leave that on, it really throws the tree out, even if I wire everything and so on. So it's pretty clear now what I have to do. I'm going to eliminate this branch, which I did really want to do, but I will. Now there's another branch that's hidden in here that is actually a bar branch. You probably could just see it on the inside here, so it's kind of irrelevant. So I'm going to eliminate that branch. Okay, hardly any difference. There's a branch, new back branch in there that will fill in that gap. And I'm going to eliminate this branch as well. So I'm going to make a gin anyway. So hope you guys can see that. Yep. I'm going to put a little gin at the back. Should be interesting to have that one there. So from side on, the tree looks heaps better. Future of the tree looks pretty cool too. Now that's a much nicer tree to look at. Some nice compactness. This just needs time to really fill out and build the pads. And then that gin's nice to have in the back. I could keep it, I could not. I will gin it. I think it's a bit of wire to it, but I could gin it, but I could also eliminate it in the future. I'm not too fussed, but I will gin it just quickly and just see how it looks. But I don't think, because it's at the back, you're never going to really see it. It might just peek occasionally through the back. So I will gin it and have a look. But this is the final tree after all that work. So much nicer tree, I think. Looks pretty good. from this angle anyway. Looks good from, look at the symmetry around, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good from the back as well, so you could have a back like that, but the whole tree is kind of pushing to the back, so it doesn't really work. But you know, it's nice to look at a tree in all angles and make sure it's a nice tree overall. So that's it. That's how this tree turned out. I think there needs to be a bit more thinning out here, okay, a little bit here. But I think once the tree balances its energy and fills out, it'll be more even. And once it's more even, it's easier to work with. So this will be quite a nice compact tree. Apex is going to be pretty full, and then you got your layers getting fuller and fuller. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching. Bye.